Welcome to the crib, guys. So yeah, where have I been? What are you doing? What happened since your last fight? What have you been up to? I've been up to a lot. And yes, I haven't been uploading to my channel, but I've been having fun doing other stuff. And you know what? I'm going to do a Q&A. I'm going to answer all of your questions. And I'm going to let you guys in on what I've been up to and the things I've been doing. I've been up to some really cool stuff, so stick around and let's get ready to sleep. Box sale. Okay, so let's do this. I think, let me take this off. Oh, it feels good to breathe. I think we should address the first question. What happened to your channel, my G? Last few months haven't seen much. Cool, fair. That was from Alexander Skankov. I'm gonna put the screenshot of the comment up so you guys can see it. And then I have a reply from Dan Mackay saying, ever since he merciless beat the I don't know if I can say that. Then I have a comment from Dan Mackay saying, ever since he merciless beat the out of his body that had no right being in there with him in that exhibition match, laughing out loud. Okay. Let me address that real quick. It was an exhibition match. Ryan, he was keen on it. He really wanted to test himself. He made that explicitly clear to me, like, I want to test myself. I want to see how good you are. Don't hold back on me. I have to hold back on you because I don't want to knock you out. I'm going to see how much you can handle and I'm going to dish it out because, hey, this is boxing, okay? I've never sparred the guy in my life. I didn't know his skill level. I didn't know what he was coming with in front of all those people. I have to come out kind of at the level that I feel comfortable coming out with and throw the punches that I feel will secure me dominance in the ring, which is what I did. That's it. That's really it. It was nothing personal. It was never about me trying to batter him. It was about me trying to push him to his limit and see what he could take, and at the same time showing people my skill level and what I can actually do. Mind you, I didn't actually put any real force into my punches. It's hard to believe, but I was actually not clenching my fist properly because I didn't want to hurt him. Most of the power that he was feeling was because of technique, because of turning the hips, using my weight to throw shots, knowing how to work on the inside and kind of get advantage on the inside, knowing how to throw well-timed shots, quick shots going to the body and then following up to the head. It was all just strategic stuff that really he couldn't cope with. And with regards to what have I been up to, okay guys, so since last year, obviously you guys know that the corona situation hasn't been good, so I've been trying to make the best of it. And what I've actually been doing is I started skateboarding, which is crazy. I've been skateboarding for 9 months now. I can show you guys a few clips of little things that I can do in videos that I've made. I've actually got a YouTube, not YouTube, yeah I do. I have a YouTube channel for my skating. So if you guys want to follow that, it's Skate Hustle 101. Skate Hustle 101, yeah, follow me on there. I'll put a link in the description. So I've been skateboarding a lot, and I've got an Instagram channel as well. It's at Skate Hustle 101. I'll put a link there as well. And yeah, I've been skateboarding. I've learned how to heel flip. I can ollie all right. You know, I ollied a bicycle the other day. And I can 180. I can do some tricks, and I'm having fun. And it's keeping me fit. I've lost a lot of weight. I feel great. So if you guys want to follow my skate journey, make sure you follow me. What else have I been doing? I've actually been on the stock market. So even just today, I bought some more shares. If you guys want to see how my stocks are doing, I can actually show that to you guys. I can actually show you where I'm at with regards to my stocks, investments, and what I've invested and what I've made and things like that. But I'm investing like long term. Yeah, I'm just investing long term. I'm not trying to kind of do any day trading or anything like that. I'm buying solid companies and just holding my shares. Yeah, so I actually have invested in US dollars. It's 34,836. I have some questions, some really good questions here that I want to answer, so stick with me, guys. If I'm fighting someone who's 5'8" and I'm 4'11" and they charge at me full speed, swinging at full force in a street fight, but I don't like kicks, I'm more used to boxing, how can I defend and beat him? I really recommend fighting without fighting, first of all. That Bruce Lee film, Enter the Dragon, where the Australian guy challenges Bruce Lee to a fight, and he says to him, yeah, we can go on that island over there. And as they get in the smaller boat, he allows the Australian guy to get into the smaller boat first, and then he kind of just loosens the rope and leaves the guy floating attached to the main ship, but kind of just floating on his own in the boat. It's the art of fighting without fighting. He didn't actually have to go to the island and fight this guy. In terms of street fighting, I don't recommend it. I don't think it's a good idea. There's a lot of things you can put your energy to aside from anything like that. You can do so much. You can go and learn to invest. I started my pension just 2 days ago. I opened a pension scheme and now I'm putting money towards my pension. There's a lot that you can do aside from putting your mind to like street fighting and negativity. But having said that, if you do need to defend yourself, take it to the ground. You have to take it to the ground because you don't want to be getting hit by, unless you're a really good boxer and you're going to get in the inside and throw some really hard shots to the body. Okay, so next question is from Kieran Franny. Thanks for the advice, Carlos. I have a question. It is boxing related, but not related to exactly what you are saying. I am a 58-year-old man and I'm strong and fit, but I would like to start boxing. I would have to get the cardio better. Been on a raw food diet for over 18 months. I wouldn't mind competing, but I wouldn't mind sparring for fun and fitness. I'm in Australia. One of my friends, he competes in MMA. His last fight, if he had won, but he didn't. Sorry to hear about your friend not winning this fight. He was going to go into the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He was the guy that held the police at bay in Melbourne last year when they tried to close his gym. Nick Patterson is his name. Wow, just wondering if you have advice for an older man like myself. Would you dissuade me from competing? Dissuade, nice word. Or do a lot of older men and women do it? Thank you for your question, Kieran. And to answer your question, at 58, I can't say in MMA what that means, what the rules are, but I know that in amateur boxing, the England Boxing Association have a limit of, I think the age is 44, 43, I'm not sure, something like that, upon which you can't compete past that age. In professional, it's different, so I would say check with your governing body. With regards to would I dissuade you, I would never dissuade anyone from doing anything that they're passionate about and that they're confident that they can do it. What I would say is, you know, go back and watch some of the videos where I talk about how to kind of like work on your basics, like your stance, your footwork, your basic punches. Watch some of the videos where I talk about the fighter's mentality, especially the one that I released recently, where I'm talking a lot about how to combat fighting anxiety and nerves. If you learn to do the correct things that keep you in good stead before a fight, you're gonna be way ahead of the pack. So if you're doing your research, doing your work, and you know you're up for it, even if it's like a white collar boxing match and you go up against someone similar age, I mean, that would be great. And if you get the video, send it over. I can analyze it on my channel. I'd love to do that. So sending much positive energy to you and your friends. I hope you guys can win your fights. Don't let anyone dissuade you from doing anything that you want to do. Even if it's just sparring, even if you don't compete and you just want to do a bit of sparring, even if it's like closed sparring in which the trainer says, okay, you're only allowed to use your jab, you still get a good rush out of it. And then from there, you can kind of keep sparring and build up and see whether it's something that you would want to do publicly in front of like hundreds of people potentially watching you get hit in the face. You would know by then whether you want to do it. What should I have to learn first in boxing? What should I have to learn? I don't think there's anything you have to learn. Not any one thing, at least. There's a lot of things you will have to learn for the rest of your career. But in terms of like what comes first, I would say most people in most cultures would agree that the footwork is quite important, because it's kind of it's your basis and your base for everything else. My coach taught me, the first thing he taught me was your punches are like your guns and your arsenal, and your footwork is like a tripod, let's say, or your base for your weapons, right? If your machine gun doesn't have legs, you're not going to be able to shoot very well, very efficiently. So if you have really good footwork, it gives you a really good solid base for you to then to be able to cut opponents off in the ring, to be able to get away from trouble. My coach used to tell me your footwork will get you into trouble or will get you out of trouble. I would say a lot of people would agree with me in going down that road. Get your footwork really solid, get your stance really solid, and then begin to work on your punches and everything else. Again, as I've said, I started skateboarding. I found it's been fantastic for my balance, coordination, and I can't wait to get back to boxing to see whether it has helped a lot. I'm sure it has. Okay, I'm 22 right now and have no boxing experience. This was 8 months ago, so he's probably going to be 23 by now. Would it be the waste of time to start fighting and get into amateur fights? I don't think so. I started competing, I was 18 years old. So anyone going into boxing, I just say, just kind of know what you want to get out of it. Don't just go into it, like, you can just go into it to have fun, but as you progress, it does get harder and it gets dangerous. So I would recommend just knowing what you want to get out of it. And do you want to compete? Do you want to be a pro? Do you want to go to the Olympics? If you want to go to the Olympics, better you start at 10 years old or younger. If you want to compete international like I did, 18 should be okay. If you want to become a professional just to kind of see how it is in the pros, you can do that after a couple of amateur fights. But if you want to be a really good pro, ideally you want to have what they call amateur pedigree, meaning that you want to have a high level of competition behind you, competitive experience actually behind you, to where it kind of provides you with a strong base to then go to the pros, and you'll progress a lot quicker because you'll get signed by a good manager, you'll get signed by a good promoter. You will also have kind of a more facilitated journey in terms of like you'll have more marketing, your face will be on more posters, you won't have to stress about selling tickets as much as other fighters, you'll have quicker opportunities to win belts. So starting young really helps. 22 is not bad though. You can do it at 22. If you could, it will be harder, not gonna lie, it will be harder if you went pro 22, 23, 24, 25. But if you're knocking people out and you're really good, you're gonna make it. Okay, if you're a taller fighter for your division where it's unlikely you'll ever fight someone as tall as you, then how important is it to bend at the knees? Or a better question is, what is a break-even point between bending to not lose balance but also fighting tall and not giving up your height? As you hear a lot of boxing analysts talk about, is it a matter of experience and knowing when to bend in and out of range? I thought you were going to ask something else, but that's the question. Thanks in advance. Love this channel, subscribe. Johnson Ramon, thank you for your question. 10 months ago. Sorry I'm late to the party. You know, Corona has been crazy. Using your height in boxing doesn't have too much to do with bending your knees per se, as it's two primary things. It's obviously your body composition. If you're naturally tall, a lot of what you will do as a fighter will be a tall fighter's kind of habits, right? It will just be impossible for you to make yourself shorter than a certain height, no matter how much you bend your knees, right? That's your height. So it's all about understanding that you just need to be comfortable with that. Be comfortable with your natural physical attributes and kind of embrace them as much as possible in your training. And secondly, understand that it's not really being a tall fighter and fighting tall or short is not really specifically attached to one singular thing like bending the knees. There's a lot of things that go into it. There's your, you know, I made a cool video about this, and I'll leave a link, and it's how to fight a taller opponent, or how to fight, but you can even take that and reverse it, and you kind of will see me do certain things against a taller opponent, and you can say to yourself, okay, this is what my opponent's going to try to do to me, so I need to kind of reverse it and kind of have a strategy to deal with that. The tall game, as I'm going to call it, the tall game is also psychological. So as well as being physical and having physical attributes, it's also a psychological thing. It's kind of an kind of ego and strength thing. You can have someone who's shorter but somehow stays really tall, bounces on their toes, and is really, you know, gives that tall posture, and someone who's actually taller. For example, a good example of someone who's tall who fights short is someone like Paul Williams. If you guys go and check Paul Williams, he was a tall fighter scrapping it out with short dudes, and it worked for him. He was knocking guys out. But then that cannot work for everyone. And then you can get really short fighters that feel almost like they fight tall. I think an example of that is Andy Ruiz, the most recent Mexican world heavyweight champion. I get the sense he was just a short guy, a short, stocky guy, who just knew how to make himself tall enough to slip punches and actually land bombs. As you guys saw, bombs on Anthony Joshua's head, you know, overhands, hooks, and he just landed bombs, and hey, he came with potentially a taller man game than Joshua came with. If in the second match, in the rematch, Joshua came with a real tall man's game, Muhammad Ali style, kept it moving on his toes, kept it really tall, and boom, he got the win. So it varies, guys, but it's all going to depend on your physical attributes and your psychological approach, how you approach the game. Being tall physically doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to fight tall. I hope that answers your question. You have to put it into your mind that you want to be a tall fighter and you want to use that as an advantage, and then find ways of doing that. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. I hope you like this Q&A. I want to do a few more, and guys, keep shooting questions now. Let's keep this going. The channel now, I want to see this now as a community. We've got nearly 30,000 subscribers, and I want to grow this community now, and I want to share boxing knowledge and experience with all you guys and more people. So share this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and just tell all your friends about it. There's so much content on here, guys. Just find something, share it to a friend, someone who needs help becoming a better fighter, and you know, when they win trophies and titles, they're gonna thank you for it. And remember, you know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, thank you for that boxeo videos you were sending over to me, because man, that got me the championship that I got today. Peace out.